Just pass it on your jacket in a second.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Caucus Meeting of the Englewood Cliffs Mayor and Council. Today is October 16th, 2019, approximately 6:34 p.m. Call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Kranjak,
Here.
Councilpersons Wu,
Here.
Song, Sabari,
Here.
Versa,
Here.
Poe, Councilwoman Caucus, Borough Attorney,
Here.
and Municipal Clerk.
Thank you. Okay. Could you please read into the record the Open Public Meetings Act statement?
Adequate notice of this meeting was given to the press and posted as required. Date and time of this meeting was legally given as required by the Open Public Meetings Act. This notice is on file with the municipal clerk and posted on the bulletin board. Minutes of this meeting will be made available to the public upon the completion of typing and proofreading by the municipal clerk.
Thank you. I see that we're going to close session. I think we should add the litigation of Allen Park versus Englewood Cliffs onto the list, because that one, I saw a letter come through today on that. It's missing from the list.
You have the letter?
Your borough council has a letter.
He did, but I don't have it with the chairman.
Right. Okay.
Yes, we hold off on that till we all see the letter.
Well, let's put it on the list because it's a pending litigation. It seems like you want to have all the litigations listed here, those that are open and those that are closed, so that you want to get the law.
Yeah, these are all
So,
open.
I haven't
so
seen
do you want to have a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Madam Clerk, would you please read the appropriate language for us to go into closed session?
Resolution 19-183. Whereas the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Englewood Cliffs have deemed it necessary to go into closed session to discuss confidential matters. Whereas the minutes of the closed session will remain confidential as permitted under the Open Public Meetings Act, or shall be released when there is no need for confidentiality as authorized by the Borough Attorney. Now therefore be it resolved that the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Englewood Cliffs will go into closed session for the following matters permitted under Open Public Meetings Act. We've added Allen Park versus Borough of
I
Englewood.
don't think we should have that. I didn't see that.
Well, you know, but that's something that's pending.
It might be pending, but I haven't seen it.
Well, it came in today, so I'm
And our
asking.
attorney doesn't have it, so how are we discussing it?
He has it, he just doesn't have it with him.
And how are we
That doesn't help
discussing
us.
Well, it's a short letter, so he would have read it.
It's not a big deal to hold it off till next meeting.
Well, it's a big deal enough for you to list all the other litigation. Why don't you list that one also?
it?
I haven't seen it, so I don't even know it exists, so.
Well, your attorney has it.
I
The
understand.
guy that you control
Once
right
again.
here has it.
Once again, as you would say, I haven't seen it.
That's
I
fine.
have not had time
That's
to
fine.
look at it.
So I've added it to the
I
list.
wouldn't put closed on it.
Allen Park versus Englewood Cliffs.
Regarding Borough of Englewood Cliffs, docket number BERL 6.19-15, affordable housing, 800 Sylvan Avenue versus Borough of Englewood Cliffs, Mayor and Council, affordable housing, Scout Nero versus Borough and Chief, disability application, Renault versus Kranjak, Borough of Englewood Cliffs, BERL 66006679-18, Tracy versus Borough of Englewood Cliffs, BERL 005-18, Andrew Murray versus Council of Borough of Englewood Cliffs, BERL 000-300-19, McMorro Carroll versus Borough of Englewood Cliffs, BERL 000-95449, McMorro Carroll versus Borough of Englewood Cliffs, BERL 002-002-19, Eastwood Lawn versus Borough of Englewood Cliffs, BERL 002-671-19, McMorro Carroll versus Borough of Englewood Cliffs, BERL 003-578-19, Eastwood Lawn versus Borough of Englewood Cliffs, BERL 003-751-19, Figueroa David versus Borough of Englewood Cliffs, BERL 003-911-19, O'Shea Mary versus Borough of Englewood Cliffs, BERL 004-100-19, McMorro Michael versus Shoppy Michael, BERL 004-251-19, McMorro versus Borough of Englewood Cliffs, BERL 004481-19. Contract matter versus Borough of Englewood Cliffs, BERL 004786-19. Emerald Tower versus Borough of Englewood Cliffs, L 005511-19. Contract matter versus Borough of Englewood Cliffs, Affordable Housing, Englewood Cliffs, CBA Local 45 versus Borough of Englewood Cliffs, BERL 004240-15. Michael versus Tracy, BERL 005013-16. McMullen Karen versus Borough of Englewood Cliffs, BERL 008227-17. McMullen Karen versus Borough of Englewood Cliffs, BERL 670219-Z. McMullen Karen versus Borough of Englewood Cliffs, BERL 004489.
Have a motion to come out of closed session, please. All in favor? Okay, we're still in our caucus meeting, which we're wrapping up, but we do need to open to the public. So I'm going to ask for a motion to open to the public now. And so you can feel free to speak now, or you can speak at the next meeting, which is the regular meeting that starts in 5 minutes, or you can speak at both if you wish. So can I have a motion to open to the public? All in favor? And also, was there anything that we're adding to the agenda? Nothing. Okay. If there's anyone from the public who wishes to be heard, please raise your hand. Let me recognize you. Come up to the microphone, state your name and address, please. Yes.
Lauren Eastwood, 4-Wheeler Drive. I'd like to know who prepared this blatantly inaccurate closed session agenda. A similar thing appeared in Councilman Averso's campaign literature, so I suspect he had something to do with it. Because under pending litigation, we have, BR-L-596918. That's an Oprah case. The Borough of Englewood Cliffs lost that case in April. I assume the borough attorney told you that. Then we have 2002-19 and 954-19. The borough lost those cases in May. We have 2671-19. The borough lost that case in June. Then we have 3751-19. The borough lost that case in August. And then there's 4100-19. The borough lost that case in September. There's 4786-19. The borough also lost that in September. 5511-19. Borough also lost that in September. And there's the Gannett case. I didn't write the case number on that. I lost that one in May. So I'm somewhat mystified as to why they're showing under pending litigation unless the borough attorney isn't keeping you up to date on what the borough is losing. And I'd like to know, since you're losing Oprah case after Oprah case, and it's costing the taxpayers a fortune because you're not complying with the Open Public Records Act and not providing documents. And I also noticed on e-courts that this problem is also spilling over into civil litigation, and that the borough has been fined $500 for failing to produce discovery in another case. What is being done about getting the borough to comply with its legal obligations to produce documents in Oprah cases and in civil cases?
So, just to answer your question, who's on the agenda committee? You are? Who else?
I
You are? Who else? You are. So, council members Aversa, Sabari, and O are on the agenda committee. They create the agenda with the borough clerk, Ms. Duffy. So that's the first answer. The second question that you had regarding why are all these listed here? Well, it's obvious, right? I mean, we all see the mailings and everything. It makes good for campaign material, but terrible for town meetings. So this is what happens in the deep borough of Englewood
No,
Cliffs.
actually, I asked for an update on all.
Yeah, well, these are done. These are done cases, so it's amazing that
We had this discussion in
Okay.
closed,
You want to give
so-
the board attorney an opportunity?
Well, he's part of the problem as well, but go ahead.
Well, that's what you think, but I like to hear.
They're not all complete.
So which ones are you saying that resident Eastwood mentioned that are not complete?
Well, first of all, the net is not on the list. So that one's not even.
Okay, so that was an easy one for you. What else? But you mentioned about seven,
Yeah,
right?
all of them are in some state of still being open. Not everything on them is complete.
So the court doesn't think
Decisions
that.
made by the court, but there haven't been entirety.
Are they closed in court?
In court?
Yeah.
No.
So they're all pending?
They're all still open cases.
They're all pending.
So Ms. Eastwood spoke about the court.
No, Ms. Eastwood actually checked on e-courts. They're marked closed.
They're not finished.
So now we're playing semantics.
No, we're not playing
Yes, we
semantics,
are.
except I'm not going to discuss open litigation in a public forum.
Well, if you go to e-courts and they're closed,
That
then
doesn't
they're
make
done.
Well, no, if that's the case, that's great, then they're all finished, I'll stop working on them.
Good, thank you. Thank you.
Is the reason that they are marked closed but not done because the borough has not complied with court orders?
No, in some cases, it's because the court has granted us additional time to answer, and to do additional path and bond indexes. So yes, they're still open items, that's why they are still open cases.
All right.
And could you explain to me why, if the court's granting you additional time, why you're getting hit with repeated motions to enforce litigants' rights?
I think that's a gross exaggeration of the state.
There have been at least 3 of them, and there are more coming.
Okay, is there anyone else from the public who wishes to be heard now? Again, you can speak at the regular meeting in 5 minutes as well. Yes.
Carol McMahon, 489 Summit Street. I'm going to make sure that this gets seen for the camera. This is a political piece that was put out, and I'm at a loss for words with how coordinated, obviously, I didn't know Councilman Aversa was on the agenda committee. Now I understand, being that he's on the agenda committee, he's coordinating, it appears, with Ms. Duffy, who has made no eye contact at all with Ms. Eastwood, and I'm going to be directing some questions to you, Ms. Duffy, because since you are a named defendant in these cases, 9 out of the 11 which you have lost, you know that this is not pending litigation. And if your definition, as my question would be, to pending litigation is the fact that the borough is not in compliance with the court's orders, then perhaps Judge Farrington needs to have that brought to her attention, Mr. Marinello, because you also have lost, well, you didn't lose 9 because Mr. Wunsch lost one of them. You lost 9 out of the 11, which, as a borough, I'd be looking at myself and saying, why did we lose 9 litigations out of 11? Clearly, there's something very wrong here with how we're handling our Oprah responsibilities. Ms. Geiger sued last year, she won. Gannett sued, they won. You have responsibilities under Oprah to produce these documents, and you're not. And the transcripts reflect why. We're not going to rehash this, Mr. Marinello. You know why you're losing. You're not complying with Oprah. But to use I don't think that's very funny, Tony, at all, because we're all paying for that.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry, because it is funny. It's costing us money.
Tony.
No, don't worry, raise your hand after.
the agenda is highlighted in yellow, and Mr. Aversa highlights that they're Cranjack cronies, former council people, or current planning board members. Yet he doesn't highlight, Mr. Aversa, you don't highlight Mr. Tracy's Oprah case, so I assume that you only feel Mr. McMorrow is a Cranjack crony. And, you know, I have to tell you something. You people are you're crossing the line between borough business and politics. And you have responsibilities as government officials to not violate people's rights. I don't get what you don't understand about that. Oprah itself is so clear. The case law is so clear, which is why you keep losing. And it's not pending litigation. Now, have we received the documents? That's a different story. But that's why you receive motions to enforce litigants' rights when just give the documents. The other thing is, I'm sure you just want to mention as many as you can. You put my name on here twice. Was that for the same case? And also, I don't know why you would not put Ellen Parks on here, because Ms. Duffy was aware, because she received an email from Mr. Harrison this morning about the Ellen Park lawsuit. So you should have updated your agenda before you printed it out. And you never print this out ahead of time, so you should have updated it. You were aware of it. This is purely political. And I look forward to seeing the closed session minutes on this, because these are closed cases, the majority of them. And you're going to have to put in the closed session minutes what you're talking about in closed sessions, because the item's finished already, okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you. I probably said this 1,000 times, I'll say it one more time. We need to take the politics out of Borough Hall. When we come into this room, politics are over, okay? That's outside. In Borough Hall, there's no politics. Everybody should just do their jobs. Anybody else that should be heard?
Well, I think it's important that...
Anybody else? The public.
Mayor, I'd like to respond. I think it's important that the public realize that prior to 2019, Oprahs were handled the same way that they were handled this year. So things kind of changed
You
a
weren't
little
on the
bit.
council prior to 19.
Excuse me?
You weren't on the
Okay.
council in 19.
They were handled, and we didn't have all these lawsuits. Right now,
Well,
all of
how do you
them...
know?
Mayor, let me finish.
Well, how do you know? You
All
weren't on
of
the
the
council.
current, several residents, I'm not going to state them by name, use the same attorney. You might as well call them an ambulance chaser. This is what they do. They get paid based on winning. And our town is paying because these few people in town are filing these Oprah lawsuits. So that needs to be known also.
Okay, well,
And nothing is being done differently
so
than it was prior to 2019, when
So
those people were actually on council.
the most important thing is that we have full transparency for our
Right, so we
residents.
just gave everybody
For our
full
residents. We
transparency
need
of
full
what they're paying
transparency, and that's how you avoid Oprah lawsuits. Anybody else wishing to be heard? Okay, thank you. Can I have a motion to close public portion? All in favor? So we're going to adjourn now. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
We talk about the former meeting. If there are any changes, we don't have to go in regulars just to see if everyone's on board.
So there's I just got this, so I need to read it. We'll read it later.
I emailed it to everyone last week.
All right, have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor? Okay. Give us 5 minutes to set up, and we'll start the regular meeting as soon as we can. We can just take a break over here.